Hello, everyone. We'll we'll just stay silent for a minute or two. Okay. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, and welcome to Venerable De Hong. It's the first week of I believe it's August, right? Yeah, first week of August. Uh, so I want to welcome Venerable De Hong again, and we'll be spending the next hour together. So I'll turn it over to Venerable De Hong right now. You have to unmute.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Danny. I will start. Um, Greeting everyone. I hope you are all doing well, considering the situation that we are in. So I will start with the PowerPoint, and let me see. Anyway, I you see this box that I have banana stuff. Last month, the third Friday of July, I was able to hold a day long in one of the yards in Arnwood State Prison, which is located in Blythe. And starting this year, the manager allowed us to order and buy food in for the incarcerated men. So, but because I went by myself, so I only asked for two items. I asked for bananas, which I bought from Costco. These were organic, and here are two containers, but there were three food sub sandwiches. Usually each box would contain can only they only put one 3 foot sandwich, but because I was expecting some 20 men, so I couldn't just carry all three containers plus the bananas. So I asked the staff at Albertson in Blythe to put three orders into two containers. That's why you see them kind of getting very crowded in the picture. The onions, the red onions, and sliced tomatoes and Roman lettuce, they packed separately, and the condiments. And the thing in this prison is a level two now, which is a medium. When you get in, I mean, after the front gate, you have to walk at least half a mile. The thing is, how do you carry them? So luckily, they have little cart after the gate where you can transfer the food over and bring them over to the visiting room where they have an X-ray machine similar to this one, where the officer she would put through the machine twice to make sure that there is no contraband. No weapons, no cell phone, no metal or even plastic package that the machine would be able to detect. And of course, as a volunteer, as a monk, I could not do any of such thing. But for them to be safe, they have to do that at this prison. So I was able to bring the food in, and we meditate from literally 9 to 12, and then we broke for lunch. Each person was able to have 4 pieces. The last piece, they took it home, so back to their cell to enjoy, which was, I'm grateful to be able to offer that for them, because for most of them who have been incarcerated for 25 years, they never had a sub sandwich, they never had a piece of pressed tomato, or even, a piece of pressed onions. So, and they were very, very grateful to our sponsors. So that's one thing. Another thing that I would like to share is 4 pictures or 4 drawings from an incarcerated lady at the women's prison in Chino, where I visited every Monday since 2016. So it has been 9 years. And the drawing was done by this 77-year-old lady, and we call them mumu because of the dress that they had to wear, just so that people know that they walk slowly when they're out in the yard. So I call this I have the title for this set of drawing. I call it prison break, and you have 3 persons, looking at the fence. I call that planning. And then if you see this one, one of them, even with a walker, she was climbing through the fence. I thought that was so, her idea was very creative and her drawing was excellent. And this one, I call it digging, right? You can get out through digging, as we might have seen in some of the movies. And the last one, this is even more creative. She escaped through the drone. So I don't know her personally because she didn't come to my group. The 1 p.m. group that I have is for senior citizens. Most of the women are over 65. I have 2 that are 82, and most of them are in their 70s, but they were able to sit with me for at least an hour each time I visit them. And they knew this lady, and they gave me copies of this drawing. I thought it's really awesome to be able to see this kind of artwork from the lady. So now back to continuing our book, the abundant. What's the other word? And immeasurable. Oh, exhausted and immeasurable by Ajahn Pasano. Anyway, quickly from July, we spoke of the 5 hindrances, which are sensual desire, ill will, sloth, and torpor, restlessness and worry, and skeptical doubt. And every meditator would experience through this. It's important that we are mindful of these hindrances and figure out how to overcome them. And tonight we will, the Ajahn Pasano literally explained in details the Metta Sutta. And this version was translated by the Amaravati Sangha in 2004. So here are the phrases which I will use later when I do the guided meditation with you guys. And here is the whole sutra. For those of you who don't have a copy, I suggest that you download it from Abhigiri's website. If you don't have access or couldn't find it, let Danny or myself know, or contact Danny just so that he knows, and he can email you the PDF version or the ebook version. It's an excellent sutta. I highly, highly recommend that every person studies this sutta and practice the loving kindness meditation. It can lead to your enlightenment. So a bit of the word metta itself is the feeling of loving kindness is the object of meditation in this practice, the feeling that we develop, that we cultivate, and that's once we have that established, then we direct and offer that feeling of loving kindness to everyone. It's also important to recall what he said, the metta nimitta, basically the sign of loving kindness. It's a pure mental object in our mind. And according to Ajahn Brahm, he said, for most meditators, this disembodied beauty, he called it a beautiful sign. This mental joy is perceived as a beautiful light. Some see a white light, some a golden star, some a blue pearl, and so on. But it's not a light. And this is, so nimitta, that's how Ajahn Brahm, Brahmasavo define nimitta. It's when we cultivate this loving kindness, this feeling, and allow our heart to be the vessel for this feeling. And then what we do is we expand that everywhere. That will allow us to include our parents, our family, our teachers, our friends, and all living beings, meaning people, animals, people including people we don't like, animals or insects. And that's the goal. That's the practice, that's the goal. And metta, the word itself, is grounded in respect, kindness, well-wishing to yourself first. And keep in mind, this is not selfish. The thing is, for us to be kind to others, we need to be kind to ourselves first. That's the key. So here the Metta Sutta is the formula of directing loving kindness to yourself, your parents, your teachers, your friends. And this is the most common structure. And then once you have that, then loving kindness arises out of our actions, our speech. And that's the ground that we need to be attending to. The sense of our actions being able and upright, our speech being straightforward and direct. So when we have the practice, when we have that established in our hearts, then when we conduct ourselves, when we speak, when we act in each activity, is based on loving kindness. There is not even a bit of anger, there is not a bit of jealousy, none whatsoever. No matter how difficult the situation is, or no matter how difficult a person is that we have to deal with, the base of our action or response is loving kindness. So here he explained, each phrase. I skip some of, I may have skipped some of them, but I go through most of them, just so you guys know. Let's say he said, for someone born with an axe in their mouth, meaning that people who don't speak kindly, who are very critical or vulgar, then that is devastating, But so what the practice of loving kindness is to help us to eliminate that, and that we need to be humble and not concede. Or then the next line, contented and easily satisfied, is that we need to be able to harmonize with each other in the human community. The sense of contentment and being easily satisfied, just so that we can blend in with each other. And if we are not this content and difficult to satisfy with constant demands, whether they are material or emotional, we are always walking on eggshells. That's the issue here. Unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways is that we don't have too many things on our plate. We don't take more than what we can handle. We live in simple ways. We live with peace and calm, wise and skillful. These are the qualities that remind ourselves in the sense of bringing them into our daily lives, the qualities of calm and discernment. Then the question that we ask is, what is truly skillful, wholesome, and beneficial? What is neither beneficial nor skillful? What is being driven either by your own biases or by the biases of the society around you? And this is what we have to contend with, have to face in our daily lives, in our relationship with people. So skillful here, as defined by the Buddha, is the quality that inherently leads to happiness, peace, and a freedom from defilements and obscurations. But on the other hand, unskillful is associated with suffering, with dukkha, agitation, turbulence, with greed, hatred, and delusion. So the point here, I would like to remind everyone, instead of judging our actions or people good or bad, we look at ourselves and others through the lens of skillfulness or unskillfulness. That makes it easier to understand and also stop us from judging people. So here, wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings in peace. The point here is the qualities of happiness and well-being into our being. Once we establish that thought, that's the aspiration. And Ajahn Chah said, poor people suffer like poor people, rich people suffer like rich people, intelligent people and not so intelligent, so it depends whether our suffering is all varies. It depends on the issue that we have to deal with, so universally we all suffer. And Ajahn Chah, he used to teach the Westerners, meaning Europeans or Americans, basically Caucasian, who were more educated when they went to join the monk, his monastery, because they all probably have a college graduated PhD. So so he always teased them. I mean, compared to the Thai monks. So Ajahn Chah said, people who go to study and they get a bachelor, then their defilements get a bachelor degree. When they get master degrees, their attachments also get a master degree. When they get a PhD, a doctoral degree, then their defilement. That's why, for me personally, I don't tell people that I have a PhD. I never brag about it. Only if I have to write in terms of corresponding with folks inside the prison, then because I had to show my credential, then I put down PhD at the end of my name. Else, I ask people to call me D. I address myself as D. Because earlier in the sutta, Ajahn Pasana said we need to be humble. So anyway, coming back here, so the practice of loving kindness helps us to cut across greed, hatred, and delusion. And here Ajahn Chah said, Westerners have affluence and education. Look at the vultures. They fly really high, but look at what they come down to eat, basically dead meat, dead humans. So to him, that's what he compared. That's the analogy that he used. Also, having kindness, loving kindness, and compassion to all beings, those that we can see, those we couldn't see, those who have been born, those yet to be reborn, those near and those far away. May they all be at ease. May they be happy. And also another phrase: "Let none deceive another." What we need to be aware of is to not cheat other people, to be honest. That is part of the Metta Sutta. It's also good to qualify that, bringing it back to the sense of being gentle in speech as well. Sometimes we take the truth as an ideal and forget the effect that it's going to have on the ground. So again, this comes down to being skillful with people, despite any being in any state, meaning that human beings can, easily do that, because there is a sense that criticizing or being able to put others down lifts ourselves up a bit, and uh, that's not skillful. So for Ajahn Pasano, he said when he, after having been a monk for about 16 years in Thailand, he went back to Canada for the first time for a visit. And he found out that when he talked to people, he noticed that people put each other down, and also being exposed to media and sarcasm, critical put downs, and snide comments. And to him, it was very painful. And that's what we need to be mindful of. Also, let we need to let go of anger and ill will and not wish harm on each other. He also brought up another occasion when he went back to visit Canada. Actually, this is a repeat, I'm sorry. So here, also, to sustain the loving kindness and well-wishing is almost like a mother protects her life, her child, her only child. That's the image that the Buddha consciously used to equate with loving kindness. And also, the Buddha said, with a boundless heart, should one cherish all living beings. So, when with the practice of loving kindness, we need to be able to cherish every living being. Our heart must be as spacious as the space. That is the key here. That we spread it upwards to the skies, down to the depths, to underneath, free of hatred, free of ill will. So the thing is, the nature of our human mind is that we have a whole bank of experiences, internally within ourselves, and also externally from society, that impinges on us. And all of that can pop up in our mind as thoughts, because that is what our mind is for, to provide thoughts. But as meditators, we have to use discernment. What are we going to invest in? What are we going to put our energy into? And you guys will see, when I do guided meditation, usually at the beginning, I would have people, especially folks inside the prison, to sit back and relax and process the thoughts, let the thoughts come up and let the thoughts go. That is so important. We need to be able to process and get rid of most of the thoughts in our conscious mind, the ones that are useless or harmful. And that's how here, back to here, that's how we create karma, basically wholesome karma, right? When we think of something, we already create mental karma. When we think of anger, then we create unwholesome karma. So we need to be mindful in the choice that we are making, even in our mind. So always abide in loving kindness is a conscious choice that we make at all time. So anyway, we need to be in every with loving kindness, whether we are standing or walking, we do that with loving kindness, and also free from drowsiness, and that we should sustain this recollection. We can abide in this sublime abode, and that's the chance that they use in the prison. I mean, in the monastery. I'm sorry. So he in the Theravada monastery, they chant the Metta Sutta in Pali and also in English, but it depends on the monastery. So that's what I have for tonight. So let's continue with the meditation, and I will actually bring up the phrases for loving kindness for the practice that Ajahn Pasana uses. So let's get ready and meditate. Let's get your posture ready, whether you are sitting or standing or lying down or even walking. Let's take some deep breaths first, in through your nose, out through your mouth. You can actually breathe in deeply all the way down to your belly. You can hold for a couple seconds and then breathe out from your belly until you feel your belly being empty of air. That's one way to release the tension in your body, and also remind yourself to relax. Let go of your thoughts, thinking, planning, fear, worry, everything, or whatever that has happened since this morning. Let it all go. Tell yourself that you are safe. For some folks, because then they don't have to look around, worry about their safety. Once you're done, then breathe normally through your nose. Allow your body to settle, whatever posture that you are taking. Then feel the contact between your posture and the surface that your body is in contact with. And make sure that you are in the most comfortable posture. Then start with a smile. Notice how you feel when you smile and how that feeling gives rise to the physiological sensations in the body. Then notice the feeling, the sensations are fading away. And notice what you feel next without smiling. Let's move on with the sense door practice. by first noticing your environment, the space around you, around your body. Notice the room temperature and use your body to feel the room temperature, but not your mind to make the judgment or guess what temperature it is. With your awareness, let's check in with your mind, see how busy it is with us, and restless traveling around one place to another, or perhaps easily distracted by your surrounding or thoughts. Your feeling, your emotion, your mood, your attitude. These four can affect your thinking and your behavior. Your sense of hearing, notice what you hear as of right now. Know that your hearing consciousness is always on. You cannot turn it off. Then your sense of seeing, smell, and taste. These three senses at the moment as you're meditating are not active when there isn't anything to trigger them. Then your sense of touch in the body, quickly noticing any sensation or tension throughout your body. The sensual practice helps you to stay grounded and centered at any time, anywhere. So you don't get distracted easily or feel overwhelmed when you're being triggered. Let's bring your attention, your awareness to your breath and stay with the breath. Meaning that if your mind wanders away, you bring it back to the breath. Let's sit back and relax and use this time to process most of the thoughts in your conscious mind. All these thoughts are from your past experiences and planning, and they stay in your conscious mind unless you get rid of them. Some even get pushed into your subconscious or unconscious mind. And you have no control over what comes up, but you have this power of awareness to quickly recognize each thought for what it is, and then let it go when you know the thought is useless or harmful. So exercise your power. The better you are at letting go of thoughts, the stronger is your power. First, see if there's any negative self-talk that you did. Things like, I hate myself, I'm no good, I'm upset at myself. All of these are negative self-talks. So quickly let them go, abandon them. Give yourself that power to let go of negative self-talk. Or anything that someone did or said to you that was toxic, let it go. Let go of that person as well. Don't let them stay in your mind rent-free. Images of your loved ones, you can put them aside. Don't interact with them, because if you do, then you block the rest of the thoughts from coming up. If you worry about someone or something, let it go. It's a waste of time when you constantly worry about someone or something. It also can affect your mental health. If someone or something that bothers you, see if you can let it go instead of keeping it in your conscious mind. If you have any planning, put it aside. This is not the time. If you have any craving for sensual pleasure through your five senses, or overthinking with your mind is also a form of craving. See if you can let it all go. Or if there's any clinging is an intense form of craving, clinging for someone, or clinging to a relationship that is not working or does not exist. Try to let it go, because craving and clinging can affect your mental health. So by now you may notice a pattern of the thoughts that you have let go. Your thinking mind, a pattern of your past behavior, how you treated yourself and others. This is what we call insight. That you understand the nature of your mind. You can also use an analogy that your mind is your home, that you're cleaning out the stuff that makes you feel uncomfortable, that upsets you. So look around in the space of your home. Get rid of stuff or things that bother you or upset you, that you don't like. In a sense, you are purifying your mind. This is one way that you process the thoughts in your conscious mind. And based on your insights that you want to make improvement so that you will benefit from it, from your decisions, that your family and friends will also benefit. Then in a sense, you are becoming your own therapist. Because first, be open, be honest, be objective as you look at your mind, as you look around your home. Two, only you know what's going on in your mind. Even if you see a therapist, your therapist cannot read your mind. This is one way to care for your mental health. Let's move on and practice loving kindness for yourself first. Loving kindness is the ability to embrace all parts of ourselves and as well as all parts of the world. And it's about sending thoughts of goodwill to ourselves, a wish for happiness. So this is a mental training of the mind. So as you are sitting, you can repeat some of the following phrases. May I be well, happy, peaceful, and prosperous. Allow your heart to open as you repeat these phrases. May no harm come to me, no difficulties, no problems. May I always meet with spiritual success. May I have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. Sometimes I use the phrase, may I let go of any anger, ill will, resentment, and hatred. I also use the phrase, may I be kind and loving to myself. May I know how to care for my physical health. May I know how to find joy and happiness from within. This is all within the context of the meaning of loving kindness, the feeling, the intention. May I be well, happy, peaceful, and prosperous. May no harm come to me, no difficulties, no problems. May I always meet with spiritual success. May I have the patience, courage, understanding, and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties, problems, and failures in life. Open your heart. Allow your heart to be filled with love and kindness, free of anger, ill will, resentment, and hatred. Notice how that feels. Again, loving kindness, part of it is your feeling that you are cultivating, that it will be seen through your actions, your speech, your thought process. Let's sit in silence for the next few minutes. Let's continue to practice loving kindness for yourself. Let's check in with your mind, see how it is. Or let's check in with your home, see how your home is. Your feeling, your emotion, your mood, your attitude. These four qualities can have an effect on your thought process, your behavior. Notice your body, your posture, and the qualities of mindfulness, concentration, patience, and loving kindness that you just cultivated. These are the seeds that you are planting in your mind, in your home. With that, I will hand it over to Danny. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Venerable. I love those pictures, those drawings that you posted on Facebook some time
Yeah.
ago. I thought they were from your student, but turns out that they're not from your
No.
student. But they're very popular, obviously, and share among the incarcerated. And somehow you managed to they gave you a copy because
Yeah.
it was an important message. So I'm thinking that since the artist was not your student, then she probably have a different mindset. So she was thinking about being incarcerated. And most of the people that you see, even though they are in level 2, which is not as violent, they most likely have committed some very serious crime, which most likely are murder.
Mm-hmm.
And so first of all, um, I mean, there are many reasons why you're incarcerated because you have taken life. You know, some people think, oh, maybe there's in self-defense. Well, actually, if you're truly self-defense, it's not a crime. You would not be put in jail. But very often, self-defense is just a precondition. I actually know of when I was working as a volunteer at San Quentin, I actually know of a guy who was drinking with his friend, got in an argument. His friend came back with a gun, and he grabbed the gun and killed his friend. Um, but he was jailed. I mean, he was in prison
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't self-defense anymore. Once he grabbed the gun, he was not in danger anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it was not premeditated, so it wasn't first degree, but still, he ended up serving a long time
Correct.
in prison, especially if you have a criminal record. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really hard. But in any case, so if the artist was not your student, she was probably thinking that, hey, I've done my time. I'm really no more danger to the society. I really like to get out. I don't deserve it, but I would like to get out because I done my time here. And so either she climbed the fence, dig a tunnel, or just hop onto a hot air balloon, whatever. So that's her longing for freedom.
Yeah.
I got that.
Craving.
Now, craving, yeah, it's just fine. It's just fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's human. That's
Mm-hmm.
human. But what if that were your student? What if that were actually your student? What could those pictures meant then? Because we always talk about how once you're incarcerated, chances are it's very hard to get out. And after they've been there so long, they don't actually think about getting out anymore. At least it's not such a great possibility, right? But then we always said that, well, we're all incarcerated somehow. If you can be imprisoned with physical wars, or
Mm-hmm.
you could be imprisoned with your mental war, you
Mm-hmm.
know, right? Because like we were talking about how in a Cantonese class, you were saying like you just finish a book, and so you want to start a new topic, and so you're thinking about
Addiction.
addiction is incarceration. You're basically bounded by desire,
Yeah.
not necessarily just chemicals or alcohol. we talk about how I mentioned how, country right now,
Mhm.
are addicted. We're addicted to
Hate.
violence and hate and fear and, conspiracy. That's why we end up with the president that we do, you know. And so I think what I'm trying to say is that if this person were your student, they're probably thinking of the freedom that you gave them outside, you know,
Correct.
not the
I
physical freedom, not physical freedom, spiritual freedom.
Yeah, it's the mind, right? I actually work with someone. She has been incarcerated since 1989. She has now she is 65. So every time she went to board, she was denied, and the conversation came up like, "What if, when am I gonna go home?" And I had no answer, like, because I think her case was kind of high profile. I didn't look into people's cases anyway. So because every time she went to board, the sister showed up and opposed her release. So when she asked me, I said, well, you can practice compassion for her. You have compassion for yourself because you're also suffering. She is also suffering, since 1989, and she could not let go. And I also suggest that she practice equanimity is to let it be, that she has no control over her release. I don't think she was satisfied with that, with my answer, but that I couldn't give her any false hope. I couldn't say that, oh, you'll be go home one day. That would be lying, to her. So yeah, it's hard. So that's one case. And this morning I was in Lancaster, and I was in Bia, which is the level 4, right? This guy has been incarcerated for 33 years. And he was only sentenced 25 to life, so he already served past his sentence. And he's still in level 4. So, and he blurted it out this morning. He said, um, well, for the first 15 years of my life, I was destructive. I messed it up. So I'm like, oh, shoot, Yeah, so this is right there. So prison, it's hard. I cannot even imagine um, how life is. I thought I knew after 12 years, but every time I talk to somebody, it's different. And actually, even today, and then I went to AYA, right? AYA is level 3. It's programming, meaning that people are not supposed to get into trouble. In the past, when I go to a yard, I actually walk past the yard and I walk inside the building. Today I didn't because I noticed a lot of guys they were exercising, they in their 20s. I felt something, so I didn't go inside. And luckily, a lot of my guys already came out. And as I was leaving the prison, there was an alarm. So 4 guys were handcuffed in their 20s. They look like they're in their 20s. They had that baby face on their look, I felt sad, but it's a prison environment and that's how it is being fostered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
there are very few inmates or incarcerated individuals who are sentenced to definite sentence,
Hmm.
meaning that it's 10 years, and then at the end of 10 years you let go. It turns out that there are actually very few of those. Most of them are, like you said, 25 to life, 20 to life, right?
Hmm.
Whatever. But what most people don't understand is that that is actually a life sentence.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
That is a life sentence. Now, the number in front, it just meant that, oh, after so many years, you are eligible for parole hearing.
Yeah.
Now, most of them don't get a hearing.
Oh, well,
You know,
some
you,
do. Yeah, no, some
yeah,
do.
some do. Some actually finally get a hearing, and they don't. It's not automatic that you get approved the first time.
No,
And
most.
some people never get approved, and then some
Yeah.
people eventually get approved, and then it still has to be signed by the governor.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And yeah,
actually, these people who are in there, for whatever it is that they did, they're in an environment where it's just basically hopeless.
hopeless,
Now,
violent.
yeah, and then it's very violent because it's the only language that they have. It's the only way you can protect yourself. Now, imagine that you just make one mistake, and then forever you have no hope. So, the populations that you're dealing with are basically people who have no hope, are frustrated because they they did the crime. It's just that they didn't feel that they need to do such a severe and
Hmm.
hopeless, and there are no chance for them to be
Oh.
re-inhabited. There's just nothing there.
Hmm.
And so I think what you bring to just a few people, like just think about the population and
Yeah,
the percentage of the individuals that actually come to attend your class, and they continue to come to your class because they actually see some freedom and some light
the benefit. Hmm.
and some benefit in an environment that has no
Hope.
future, no
Yeah.
hope, and no.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Hmm.
the irony is that those of us who are outside of the wall, we have so much freedom,
But
but we
you're
actually
not.
don't understand that we are incarcerated too
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
by
Yeah.
our attachment and aversion to the
Correct. Yeah.
negative feeling, right?
It
Yeah,
could be in a relationship, right? We could be incarcerated by the job that we hate. We
yeah,
could be in a
yeah,
relationship that,
yeah,
you know, oh yeah, that's why like I'm free. That's why I quit
yeah,
my job 19 years ago. I'm free.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that. So I like those drawings. I like those
Yeah.
drawings
Mhm.
that the freedom could means physical freedom, but actually more in tune with what we're trying to do. What you're trying to do is really the spiritual freedom.
Yeah. Hmm.
Spiritual freedom, yeah, it's the invisible freedom. Okay,
Okay.
so next month,
Hmm.
September, um, we'll have another no, no, it's not a mystery anymore.
Yeah. We have
So
Joanne.
well, Joanne will be back with us, so we look forward to that.
Hmm.
And so with that, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Um, Let me turn off the outside first, and I'll see you back here next week.